Welcome guys to Rising Coders Era, and in this video we are just going to see what is a while loop, what is syntax for while loop, and what are the keywords like break and continue. So we are just going to solve different problem statement and one real world problem statement, counter timer. We are just going to write some code for that, and we are going to import one module named as time. So if the user is going to enter the 30 second, it is going to be reversing 30, 29, 28, 27, and in this way, and it is going to reach at the 0 and it is going to display one message that countdown completed. So this is the problem statement which we are going to solve using one module. It is a small project for us in this video, so let's get started for the coding part. We are going to learn what is a while loop. So what is a while loop? While loop is nothing but it is going to allow to repeatedly execute a block of code as specific condition is true. So specific condition, if it is going to be true, then the while loop is going to run simultaneously again and again until and unless this condition is not going to be false. Okay, so this is all about the while loop. So we will go with this syntax of the while loop. So we just write while and then condition. So when the condition is going to be true, this code must be executed. Hashtag code to be executed repeatedly. So here what is the while? Okay, here will be the condition, and here we are going to put the semicolon, and then here going to be the condition to be executed repeatedly. So while it is just a keyword that is going to say that the loop has been started. Then condition, Boolean expansion that determines whether the loop continues. If true, the loop body runs. If false, the loop terminates. Okay, so this is going to be the condition. If it is going to be true, then it is going to run, or if it is going to be false, then the loop is going to be not executed. Then we are having a colon. Colon is nothing but marks the beginning of the loop, so it just says that it is going to start the loop, and also the indentation, that means it creates the space on the second line. If you just enter from this colon, then it is going to create some space over here, and then you are just going to write from here. So this is called as the indentation. So you can see there is a space. This space is called as indentation. Okay. The loop body, that means it starts this code to be executed. This is going to be the loop body. Contains the code to be executed repeatedly as long as the condition is true. Same. Now here we will go with the problem statement one. We are having different files and different PDFs. You can just download it from the description, and you will also get the source code with this. And now here we are just going to write first code. So here will be the problem statement one which we are going to do here, and that is going to be print number continuously. Okay, so what is the condition for the while loop? When the condition, so this is called as the while loop, and when the condition is going to be true, okay, when the condition is going to be true, I can print here, suppose I am going to print here hello. Okay, hello. And now when I am going to run this code, the hello is going to be printed continuously. What's the reason behind this? So here the condition is true, the hello is going to be printed. Again the while loop is going to run, the condition is going to be true, again hello is going to be printed. So in this way it is going to print continuously. Okay, now if you just want to make here one condition, that you can just create a condition inside the rounded brackets, and we are just going to create one variable I is equal to 1. That means it is going to start from 1, and when I is going to be less than 5, okay, so that it is going to print 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Okay, 4 times hello. So you can just write comma space I, and now we want to increment here. So for this I'm going to move at the bottom, and I'm going to write I plus equal to 1. That means it is going to incremented by 1 to print 2, 3, 4, 5. What's the reason behind this? Why does this printed? This has been printed. Okay, so you can see here we have just started from 1. So here the 1 is going to be greater than lesser than 5, and this is going to be incremented. So what we can do, instead of making this here, we are just going to move it at the bottom. So you can see here now that when I is going to be 1, it is going to be lesser than 5, so it is going to be printed here. Okay, so you can just see 1 is with printed. After that it is going to increment to 2, then it is going to go with 2 is going to be lesser than 5, and then when 2 is going to be less than 5, it is going to be printed, the 3 is going to be printed, then 4, in this way, and the 5 is not going to be printed. If we just write here is equal to, then you will see here the 5 is also going to be printed over here. Okay, you can see the 5 also inside this. Now the thing is, we just want to print numbers continuously. So what we can do,
So simply you can just do one thing here. So we are just going to move this to while true, true, and we are just not going to initialize it, and this, or we will initialize this I is equal to, we are going to write it as 0. We are going to start from, so for this, and then I plus equal to 1 we can just write, and here I is going to be incremented. So this is the condition. Now if we just run this code, you can see it is going to be printed continuously, and it is not going to stop. You can just see over here. So this is going to be like this. Okay, so here we are going to see what is a basic while loop, and that is going to print number from 0 to 1. Okay, so for this what we are going to do, I'm going to create a variable named counter, and we are going to write it, assign the value as 0. Now when, that means while counter is going to be less than 5. Okay, so we just want to print that. Okay, inside this. Okay, we just want to print counter is to space comma, you can just write here counter. Okay, counter, and counter plus equal to 1. So similar what we did before this. So this is the case, and now when just we are going to run this, you can just see over here the counter 0 1 2 3 4 is been printed, which we done before this. We have just created one code here. So similar, it is the 0, then it is going to see 0 is less than 5. Yes, it is going to be move over here, we printed. Then after that it is going to increment by 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, and 4 is less than 5. So similarly you can just print the number from 0 to 4 in this way. So what does the break keyword does? Immediately exit the loop even if the condition is still true. So when the condition is true and at a particular point I just want to break that loop, so for that I'm going to use one condition, and I'm going to just make it the break keyword over there. So we are just going to write break keyword where we want to just break the loop. What we are going to do, I'm going to create another variable counter 1, and here we will give the value as 0, and when the condition, okay, so when the condition is going to be true, so at this point what I'm going to do, I just want to print counter 1, counter 1, counter 1. Okay, so this is the string which is going to be printed, and this is going to be the value which has been stored, and we are just going to again increment it, counter 1, okay, 1 plus equal to 1. Now suppose if the counter 1, now here what I'm going to do, now when the counter 1 is going to be greater than or equal to 5, I just want to break the loop. Okay, so when the value counter 1 is going to be greater or equal to 5, okay, so at this point I just want to break the value. So what I'm going to write, I'm going to write this keyword break. So you can see this was the first code and this is the second code. So it has just printed up to 4. So when the value is going to be greater than or equal to 5, okay, so here the value, when it is going to be greater than or equal to 5, the condition is going to break. That means it is just going to print up to 4. Okay, so it must be 4. Okay, and when the value is going to be more or equal to, means that means it may be 6 or it may be 5. So at this point the loops must be break. It has just printed from 0 1 2 3 4. So first 0, it was 0, and the 0 it is been printed over here, and then it is going to be incremented by 1, and it is going to be at the 1. Is it is greater than 5 or equal to 5? No, so it is not going to break. Again the loop is going to run. Then the value 2 is going to come. Is 2 greater than 5? No, it is not equal to also 5. So it is continue the loop. So in this way, and when it is going to reach at the 4, and then it is going to increment the 5. Yes, 5 is greater. 5 is not greater than 5. 5 is equal to 5. So it is going to break. So in this way, it is going to run this loop. What does the continue keyword do? Skips the remaining code in the current iteration and jumps to the next iteration. Keep the code and then jump to the next iteration. Okay. So that particular value it is going to skip. So for this what I'm going to create, I'm going to create another variable, and this variable name is going to be counter number 3. So we will start from 1, and when, so we are just going to write here when, that means while the counter 3. Okay, counter, we are having a counter 3 here. Counter 3 is going to be less than or equal to 5. Okay, so at this point we are just going to write if counter 3 is going to be divided by 2. So here basically we are going to create a problem statement, and that is going to skip even number in a while loop. So this is going to be the problem statement. Skip loop. Okay, skip even number in a while loop. This is a problem statement we are just going to do. So as you know, when we are going to divide it by 2, the remainder is going to be 0. At this point it is called as the even number. So when this is going to be the condition, we just want to skip. So for this I am going to increment it by 1. Okay, so that it is going to skip the even number. Okay, skip, where is it? Skips even number. You can just see over here, it is going to be incremented, and here so that it is going to skip that particular iteration, and then it is going to continue the loop again. Okay, so after that we are going to write print, and inside print we are going to create a formatted string. So for this we are just going to write formatted f, and then current number is 2, and here inside curly brackets we are going to write counter 3. That means it is going to print the particular number which is working with that loop, and we are just going to increment the counter number 3 plus equal to 1 again over here. Okay, so what is going to happen? So for this we are just going to run this code so that we can just explain simultaneously over here, and you can see this is the executed code for this. If value is 1, it is going to come over here. Okay, on the second line, is 1 less than or equal to 5? Yes. Then after that it is going to move at this point. Then so it was less than equal to 5. Now it is going to move at this point. Now when it is going to be divided, if the value is going to be, the remainder is going to be 0, then it is going to be incremented. Okay, so remainder is 0, where when we divide the 1 with 2, whether the remainder is 0, no. So for this it is going to print over here. Okay, so this is not going to work with this, it is going to just continue, and then it is going to print. Then next we go with the 2, and we see that 2 is equal to lesser than, yes, it is satisfying this condition, it is less than equal to 5. Then we divide 2, as you know, 2 1 the 2, so is equal to 0 is going to be the remainder obviously. Now then at this point the value is going to be incremented, and the statement is going to be continuous. So that is going to be 3, continue, and the 3 is going to be printed here. Okay, 3 is going to be incremented here. Okay, and after that it is going to come with the 4 again. After that there is going to be 4, and 4 is going to be divided properly. So this condition is also satisfied, this is also satisfied, that is lesser than, and then it is going to incremented again, and here the 5 value is going to be printed. Okay, and at the then it is going to come at the 6, and 6 is not lesser than or equal to 5. So this condition is not going to satisfy, and here you can just see 1 3 and 5 are being printed through a list. So we are just going to have one list, and we are going to loop it. So for this I'm going to write the loop, create one list fruits, and inside this we are give the okay. So what I'm going to write, index, and we are going to create this variable, and this is going to have the value of 0. So while index is going to be less than length of fruits. Okay, length of fruits. So we have just learned. So just I'm going to print directly. So print length of fruits. You can just write here fruits. Okay, what we created. And now when we just run this code, you can just see it is going to calculate the length inside the list. So that is 4. You can just see 4. Okay, so you can just see over here. You can see here 4 values are being placed. So we just want the value. Okay, if it is 4, then we want less than it. Okay, so because it is going to start from 0, 0, 1, 2 and 3. So we just want it. So for this we are just going to write while index is going to be lesser than fruits. At this point what we want, we just want to print the fruits we just want to print everything. So for this I'm going to write print fruits, fruits, and inside this I'm going to create a square bracket, and in this, so we are going to create a square bracket and write index, and we just want to update the index. That means we want the iteration of index, so that we are going to write index plus equal to 1. Okay, so it is going to print everything. Now when we just run the code, you can just see over here it has just printed everything which was present inside the list. Okay, so you can just make, update, delete inside the list. Everything is been provided in our lectures. You can just watch it out, how we can just update, how we can just delete this from this, any element from this. Okay, so this is going to be the real world problem statement, in which we are going to import one module name as time. So what is module? We are just going to know it in upcoming lectures. Let's create a countdown timer that takes a user specified time and prints the remaining seconds until countdown reaches 0. Okay, we are just going to create this problem statement over here, and we are going to import one module. For this we are just going to write import. So this is one of the package that is, and that is going to be time. So we are going to know what is module in upcoming lectures. So this is nothing but someone have written the code for us, and we are just going to use it. Okay, so this is import time module. So we just use the print function over here. So print function is also be written by someone. How does the function works? So similarly here we are going to use the import time. We are going to know about this, and also we are going to create one function. So this also we are going to know how we can create a function in upcoming lectures. We are going to name it as countdown timer. This is the function, and inside this we are going to write seconds. Okay, bottom. Now while the seconds is going to be less than 0. Okay, so while the second is not going to be less than 0, when it is going to be greater than 0, while the second is going to be greater than 0, at this point I just want to print time remaining seconds. Okay, and at the bottom, time.sleep. This is a function. Okay, time.sleep. So that is nothing but it is going to wait for that particular time. So it is going to wait for 1 second, and then it is going to work with the another second. Okay. So this is a function which has been created. You can just read all the things. Now I will tell you what does this function work. So when just we write time.sleep, this is going to wait for the 1 second. Okay, so it is going to wait for 1 second, and then again the iteration is going to start. If you just want to increase it by 5 seconds, so it is going to wait for 5 seconds, and again the iteration is going to work. Then again 5 seconds, then the iteration is going to work. So we just want to make it 30 seconds. We just want to create a timer. So we are just going to make it sleep for 1 second, and then it is going to print another number. So this is all about this, and we are just going to write seconds. We just want to decrement. So decrement, as we increment, we just use the plus sign, and the decrement we use the minus sign. Minus equal to, and we are going to be in minus equal to 1. That means we want 30, then 29, then 28, 27, and at the particular point 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. So we are just going to write seconds minus is equal to 1. Okay. So after that we are going to write print countdown completed, and that means when the loop is not going to execute, means completed. Okay, so countdown we are going to write complete, and when this is going to happen, when this all the loop is going to be completed here at this point, it is going to be out of loop, and this thing is going to be printed countdown completed. Okay, and we just want to recall the function. Okay, we are now here we will go for the 10 seconds. Okay, you can pass any value, 30 second, 50 second, 40 second, as per your choice, and this program will print the remaining seconds until and unless the countdown reaches the 0. Enter it. So you can see 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. So it is going to be working like this: 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and then countdown complete. Now if you just want to stop it for 5 seconds, you can just work with this 5 seconds, and then next I'm going to execute this. See, it will wait for 5 seconds and the next number is going to be printed. So you can just use this delay, or here we just use the sleep. So printed the next number, then again next 5 seconds. So this is all about this. So it will take some time. So 5 seconds, we should take it 3 seconds. Okay. So this is going to work. So if you want some delay inside your program, so you at this point you can just import this module and you just write this code, write this function time.sleep, and inside this you can just pass the value as much you just want. So this is all about this, and this we are going to know about the function in upcoming lectures, and these modules also, how the modules are been imported and how we can just install different modules in our PC. So at this point it is been completed. So this is all about this lecture. Thank you guys for watching this lecture.